Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I just wanted to give you a tour of my current houseplants that I keep in my house during the winter time. So I'm starting off in my humidity room. So all of these plants really love high humidity. So I have begonias, I have my variegated monstera, and it really helps to group your plants together that like humidity, because when they lose water from their leaves, known as transpiration, that increases humidity. I also keep one of the pots on pebbles with water covering the pebbles, and when it evaporates, humidity increases. And I'm also using my humidifier, and I'll do a full review on this humidifier shortly, because I really do like using it, especially when the humidity is low in my house. But yeah, you can see this begonia is still in bloom. It has these gorgeous light pink blooms, and I just love the color against the bright green leaves. I think it's so beautiful. And this is my begonia whitey eye. I did show you guys this plant during my last little video about meeting my new plants, and this plant will produce white blooms. My variegated monstera really hasn't grown at all since I got it, but it is the winter, so I'm expecting it to grow more in the spring. And I have heard that variegated plants are usually slower growers because they have less chlorophyll in the leaves, hence why they have the white. And then as for my begonia pink minx, I noticed some of the leaves were getting kind of brown and they didn't look very healthy. I'm not sure why, because the other plants in here seem to be doing fine with the humidity. So what I did is, since the leaves were kind of not doing so well, I chopped off its beautiful blooms so that it can focus its energy on producing more leaves. Because that's really important. If you have a plant that looks like it's suffering and it's in bloom, I would just rather get rid of the flowers and let the plant focus on rebuilding itself. And then over here I have my passion vines. Now when it comes to these, they were infested with bugs. So what I did is I chopped off the foliage. I chopped it down to the stem and I sprayed it with insecticidal soap, and now they have regrown. These two types have gotten quite large, but this one hasn't grown back, so hopefully he'll grow back soon. It wasn't a clay pot, so the roots couldn't breathe as well, so I switched its pot and I put it in a smaller pot, so hopefully that helps. I'm gonna move them outside in the summertime, and so I can get those beautiful flowers. I'm not sure if they will bloom inside. And this is my new puppy, guys. I'll just let you say hi. Her name's Kona. Hi. Oh, hi, honey. So I adopted her from the Humane Society, and she's from South Carolina. So she's my little southern girl. We think she's part lab and pit bull. She's a sweetheart. And over here, you guys might remember my monstera. Now, it looks a lot smaller now. The reason for that is I pruned it because it was getting really large, and I wanted to make multiple plants out of this one. So you can see here I have all my propagated leaves, and like this one has been in water for a while, so you can see in the jar all the little roots that are growing. And then once the roots grow long enough, I will repot it in soil. And I do have a propagation video on propagating monstera if you're interested. It's linked in the right corner. This shelf looks the same as last time. This Brazil plant, I forget the full name, a lot of you told me the correct name, but it has Brazil in its name. It hasn't grown much, but it's kind of growing taller, so that's kind of neat. The jade looks exactly the same. It's a very slow grower, especially since it's not in a direct window. Down here, this is a monstera that I was growing in water, and the roots got long enough, so I potted it in soil, and it's doing really well. And I just use a stake to hold it up and make sure it grows straight. And then I have my aloe vera. It looks exactly the same. One of my Christmas cacti. Right here I have my orchid, and it is growing a new leaf. It's doing really well. And I do fertilize it at this time, like about every other watering I fertilize, just because it is growing right now, so that's helping with the growth. This is another Christmas cacti with those light pink buds. It just looks so gorgeous. This is my Easter cactus. It has white and light pink buds, but that's not gonna bloom until the spring. My Pelia is doing pretty well. Some of the leaves are still bent like this, And some people commented last time and said it's because they need colder temperatures to make the leaves stay flat, like that. I moved it to the basement and it didn't do anything to it. And my house isn't like warm, it's like 65 degrees, so I don't know, it's not a big deal. It's not like it's dying, it's just some of the leaves aren't perfectly flat. This is my Hoya plant, my variegated Hoya. I'm really hoping that it blooms in the summer with those light pink blooms. But I know I have heard that Hoyas only bloom when they're a few years old. So I'm really not sure how old this is, but it is quite big. So hopefully it'll bloom for me this spring. This is my Christmas cacti. I really like the Christmas cacti I bought this year from Logi's because they come in like, they bloom in 3 different colors. They combine 3 different varieties. So it's just a really stunning plant when it blooms. This is my bishop's cap. It looks exactly the same. It's a really slow grower. My Peperomia Watermelon. It seems to have grown a little bit. And I am still working on propagating my leaves, but they're not, I'm gonna do my propagation video once it grows some roots. Another Christmas cactus, my second Pelia plant. And like I mentioned in a previous video, I will be making a Pelia propagation video, so keep an eye out for that. This is my new Pink Princess Philodendron. I made a video about care tips for this type of plant. I'll link it in the right hand corner if you're interested in watching it. But this is a gorgeous plant. I have heard that it really likes high humidity, so I might have to move it to my humidity room if it doesn't do well out here. Like I've noticed there's a little bit of browning on the leaf and I'm not really sure. It's not, if I feel it, it's not crispy. But I really want to keep him out here just so I can enjoy the leaves, but we'll see how he does. If he's not happy, I can always move him to the other room. These are the plants that I keep in my bedroom. So this is a new pot that I recently ordered from West Elm. I got it on sale. It still was quite pricey, but it feels really well made. And I keep my variegated rubber plant in here. It's a ruby red rubber plant. And the leaves are just so gorgeous. They have these pink and like black variegation on them and green. They're just so different. It looks like someone painted them. So I really like it a lot. It's really gorgeous. I have noticed some new growth. You can see like right here, that's gonna be a new leaf. So I'm really excited for this to grow nice and tall and just be healthy. Up here I have my Hoyas and my jade plant. So this is a Hoya Hindu rope and it's from Logi's. I just love the twisty and curvy leaves on him. He's just so beautiful. This is a Hoya Mathide, I believe it's called. The leaves are really interesting. They're like kind of round with white spots on them. And the blooms are going to be really gorgeous, these pink blooms, but it might be too young to bloom this spring. But really beautiful plant. They're nice and fleshy and thick. These are my newest babies. These are Hoya Variegata Hindu rope. So they will have like pink on the leaves at some point once they grow a little bit bigger. I just love the white detail on the outside. They're just so stunning. And what I'm actually going to do with all of these plants that I have right here, all the smaller ones, I'm gonna put a shelf next to this window. This is a southern window, and I'm gonna put them on there so they can kind of cascade down the wall. I think that'll look really nice because you can see these ones are gonna cascade once they grow longer. I think that'll be really beautiful. And they won't be directly in the sunlight being here, but it will be bright. So I think they'll do a lot better because I don't want direct sunlight hitting the leaves. And my jade plant looks exactly the same as it always does because it's very slow growing in the winter. Alright guys, so those are all my current house plants that I have to share with you. If you have any comments, leave them down below. I do have an Instagram page if you want to follow me. I post often on there. It's Juju Succulents. And be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Alright, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!